people. Today we're doing a set I'm calling Peaches and Cream. And let's get started. I am trying out a new kind of tip. These are extra long almond. And we're going to use this as our main base color. Excuse me. I saw these tips the last time I was doing a little retail therapy and decided to try them out. I did not have this shape in the longer ones. And this is the set I came up with because I had no plans for anything, and I didn't feel like doing any of the stuff that I have on my list. So here we go. This set took me 2.5 hours to do. I can tell you the first part, doing the base polish and getting the foils on, took an hour. The rest, the 1.5 hours, took me for the embellishments. Now you wouldn't think it would take that long just to sit there and glue stuff on there, but frankly it does, and I don't really get it, but it does. Okay, on the one, this is one of the accent nails. I'm going to have this kind of darker peach. In hindsight, I'm wishing I'd gone with one of that's a little pinkier than this one, but I matched that to one of the colors in the foil, so that's why I went with that. Okay, now we're going in. Those have been cured. This is the second coat. Now we only need a second coat on this ring finger here and on that darker one that we just did. The rest only need the one coat because they're going to get foiled. Foiled again. Okay, I'll cure those, and I have, and we're moving on to the foiling. Now I'm only going to show you guys one nail for foiling. We're going to put the foil glue on. You need to make sure it's covered thoroughly, but don't glom it on with too much or it will wrinkle on you. And then you can't use it. Then you've got to start over. But make sure you've covered the entire nail. Now I'm curing mine for 90 seconds. This is the foil I'm going to be using. Kind of a peachy marble. And we're back out. And I am going to just put this on. Make darn sure you've got it lined up where you want it before you let it touch the nail, because as soon as it touches that nail, it's going to start pulling the foil off of the backing paper, and then if you can't like move it after that, that's it. And then I'm just going to start, I give it a press down the center first, and then I start pressing it on the rest of the whole nail and the sides. Now these nails have a little bit more of a C curve than what I normally am working with, so there were a little bit of wrinkling around the edge, which is not a huge deal. I mean, you can work the wrinkles out if you're careful, or if you have really a really strong C curve on nails, you can lay down 1/2 of it first on one side and then go back, and once you get that smoothed down, then lay the second side down. That way you can avoid some of the wrinkles. They're not that big of a deal if you haven't smushed them on real hard. They're not that big of a deal to smooth out. Like that one there you see at the top, that's going to go away here real quick. Once I get the backing paper off, you will not even see that was a wrinkle there. It will be smoothed out flat. Now, since I seem to have issues around the edge, I usually try to pay extra attention along the edges. I will use my fingernail and kind of just rub along the edges really good, because that's where I seem to have issues with getting the stuff to stick the first time. Now you can see on some places where it's already starting to release from the backing, so at least in those spots we know it's on there good. I will also use the silicone tool to rub them. They need a real good rubbing. And I'm just going to leave that there where I through it. And once again, I say, do not rip this off like a Band-Aid. Okay, now see there's a little bit right there where that wrinkle was that didn't fully transfer, so we had to lay it down and go again. And as I'm pulling this off, I'm seeing other little spots. So if you see anything, you just lay it back down and give it a little more rubbing. See, that whole side edge now is not transferred, see? So we're just going to lay this down still. Going to give it some more rubbing. With stuff that has a pattern like this, if you've already taken this off and then realize, oh, it didn't all transfer, then you've got to put it back on and try to line it up and get everything lined up, which is a royal pain in the butt to do sometimes. So if you just go slowly when you're taking it off, you can see where there's places that didn't transfer. See, now this whole side over here. So I'm going to lay that back down again, and I'm just going to give it some more rubbing on that spot. Now if you're using like a metallic foil and it's just, there's no pattern, it's just a solid color, that you can yank off real quick, because then if you have to put it back down, you can just stick it on any old place, and because there's no pattern to match, it doesn't matter. But there we go, I've got that one done. I'm going to do the rest off camera. Whoopsie. Did not want to stay on the nail stand. Okay, I will do the rest and then we'll move on. As soon as I'm done admiring my work. Okay, now, next step we're going to do is top coating. I'm going to first go over these all with my temper top coat, because I want them sealed in really well, and I want them to have a nice hard finish on them. And we're going to do that on all of them, even the ones that don't have the foils. I was feeling a little peachy this week, so that's why we came up with this one. Actually, out of boredom, I was looking through my stuff, trying to figure out what I was going to do for this week's set. And I was looking through my foil book and saw that one, and I thought, you know what? That's kind of summery, kind of light, interesting, so that's why I picked it. Okay, now we're going to cure those. If you left them shiny, that's what they would look like. As soon as I'm happy with these, they're going to go in for curing. And there it goes. Now we're back. Okay, now I'm using Model 1's matte top for these. We're going to do the same thing again, except for we're just giving them a matte top this time. I like to put a hard coat underneath my matte top, because the matte top coat, I'm convinced, is kind of porous and water does get through it, as I have found out many a time with stickers. So now I always do the hard top coat and then matte on top of that if I'm doing a matte set. With the matte top, I like to put it on kind of heavy, and then I cure it a little extra long. If you get it too thin, it gets streaky looking. I've never had my matte top wrinkle, but I'm assuming it maybe can, since all of them seem to be able to if you get them glommed on thick enough. But I've not ever had a problem wrinkling with the matte top. Okay, once we've got those on, they're going to go in for curing once I'm happy with them. Something was looking odd with that one. Okay, in we go. Now moving on to the embellishments, starting off with our trusty gem glue. I've got these orange roses, some of these little gold rimmed beads, which I still don't know what to call those. I've got some of these little medium flowers and some small flowers. I'm going to be using the white and the peach colored ones. And then we've got rose gold caviar beads, which I'll be using 3 of those larger sizes, not the smallest ones. And we're ready to go. This is the part that took me the longest. I don't understand how it seems like the time goes by so fast and it takes so long on the embellishments. It seems like it's an easy thing. You're just gluing stuff on, but I don't know. I started off with this one. It was kind of going to be a swoosh, but then it ended up just being a diagonal stripe going from that top corner to not the bottom, but to just off of where the bottom, not the pointy part, not with the almond tip part of the free edge, but over to the, you'll see. Okay, also I had a lot of problems with my glue this day. I don't know if it's because it's so darn hot in here that my glue was like extra thin or something, because everything wanted to keep sliding and moving around and running, and you'll see it gets worse when I get to the caviar beads with the glue. Now I gotta get this guy flipped back over again. Okay. Now I could have, plus it wanted to come off the nail stand. I could have cured this at the point where I get all the flowers on there and then go back and add more glue for the caviar beads, but you know, I'm kind of lazy like that, so I just wanted to do it all in one go, which is what I did. And I probably could have saved myself time and aggravation if I had cured once I got the flowers on and then did a second batch of glue for the rest of it, for all the beads, the caviar beads. But as you see, I did not do that. I just went on. Now those were not so bad so far, but once I start getting these caviar beads on here, this is where things start to go a little bit wrong. Like I said, I don't know if it's just that my glue is extra runny because it's hot, or maybe I had too much glue and that was causing them to slide around. I don't know. And I haven't had this kind of an issue this badly before, so not sure. But in either case, we got through it. Also, the wax end of this picker-upper tool was so soft because of being hot in here that if I put just even the slightest bit too much pressure on the beads when I was picking them up, they were getting embedded into the wax tip and they weren't coming off again. So I had that happen a couple of times. So okay, now I'm just going to randomly put these different size caviar beads around this bunch of flowers. See, already there's one coming off. Like some spots I didn't get any glue, so stuff didn't want to stick, and the ones that had glue was too much or whatever, I don't know, but the stuff was just rolling off and falling off. Especially when I got to the largest size, like this size of caviar bead, because they're heavier, obviously, and they just did not want to stay. And I'm going to add a little bit more glue in there. I should say a lot more glue in there, because that's a big pile right there. I had to do a lot of constant adjusting and moving stuff around, because I would get them in there where I want them. Look, that one's already going off up there by that orange rose. It's about to run right off the side. Now, I have ordered some solid gluey, it's a solid gel glue. Well, it's not really, I don't know if I wouldn't call it solid. Let's say semi-solid gel glue. I've ordered that for another purpose, but I'm thinking had I had that for that would have worked great for putting on here around these and keeping all my stuff from moving around. So I will be testing that out in this kind of a situation when I get it. And we're just going to keep piling them on and readjusting. Eventually I'm going to get all of them on here that I want, and we're going to get this sucker in the lamp before anything else falls off. I did get a little crazy with these caviar beads as I was going along here too. I ended up with a bit more on there than I probably wanted to have initially, but doing the best we can. Just trying not to melt in here. Okay, I think we're good. As soon as we can get everybody to stay where they belong, I think we're ready to cure. Nope, that guy's moving out. These guys are moving. I got one moving around down in there and towards the bottom middle. There goes that guy. It's like herding cats. Okay, I think are we good? Nope. Couple more trying to move around. Just that little bit of movement from off the stand to there. Okay, finally, in it goes. Okay, moving on. This one's only going to have a little bit on this top corner. I'm going in with another rose and a couple small flowers. A couple of the white ones. That's a yellow one that's out of here. I guess I could have made some of these little flowers in the colors that I'm using for this set, but that might be a little too matchy, so I mean, I'm fairly happy with how they came out in the end. My only thing is the color of this particular nail I would have done with the more pinky, peachy color instead of this darker one, I think. But other than that, I'm happy with them. While we have a minute, I'm thinking next time I'm going to try to do a set of Olympic nails. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them yet. So stay tuned for that. I don't have any kind of an designed idea nailed down, so I don't know what it's going to look like, but I just wanted to do something Olympics for a change of pace. The only one I know for sure is I got some little tiny letters recently, so I'm probably going to have one nail that says Go USA. That's the only thing I know for sure. The rest of them I don't really know what I'm going to do with, but we'll see. And moving on, I believe this is the thumbnail. And it's only going to get some stuff up in the corner also. Oh, did you see that bead disappear? My crack editing skills. Oh man. I tried not to get carried away with the stuff on top of these, you know, and I have more than one of these things of the caviar beads, and I don't know why I didn't get the other one out, or the other two out, and then I could have one open to each side so I didn't have to keep opening and switching the thing around. I thought of that kind of at the end. It's too hot for my brain. It's just not working right now. There goes that other one off the top. It fell off. Get on there, you. Now what? I lost something else off of there now. Or I decided to put that on that wasn't there before. I don't know. Okay, let's get these darn beads on here. Get on there, you. Now we Gotta switch back to the smaller ones. I'm not using any of the really teeny tiny ones for this set. Those I kind of like to keep in reserve for when I'm working with the crystals and I need the beads for in between the crystals. I like those really teeny tiny ones for that. I think it just gives it a nicer, more delicate finished look. Okay, are we good? No, we're still adding stuff. Okay, are we good now? Nope. It's like they're falling off as fast as I can get them on. And there was a hair. Of course. There goes that big one again. Oh, and FYI, I've sped up this whole embellishment section, so this is at double time here. And these guys are just migrating all over the darn place. Okay, hurry up, get in the lamp before they move again. That one was sticking up. Okay, alright, now this is the pinky now. We're just going to do a couple of free little flowers on the end here. And just a couple of caviar beads. Not too much on this one. Hope you guys are all staying cool out there, because it has been miserable here. We did get a reprieve for the last probably 4 or 5 days. It's only been in the 90s, so that was kind of nice. However, today we're back up to 100, and the rest for the next week it's going to be triple digits again. Oh joy. I cannot wait for fall and winter. If we could just skip the whole summer season, I would be more than happy. And this one, whichever one this is, it's going to be the same as the pinky. 3 flowers across the top and a couple caviar beads. I believe maybe this is the middle finger, I think. They look so much bigger when I'm seeing them like this, where it's all zoomed in, than they actually are for real. Alright, let's get our glue on so we can get our caviar beads up in there. Hopefully they'll stay on without giving me too much trouble. Now I use the second to the smallest for those little flowers, and then I bump up to the next size for the bigger ones. And we'll go with a couple of those. And now they've kind of gotten shoved over to the side. This one's got no glue right there. And they're going to start sliding off, I betcha. There it goes. Now that I am not actually doing stuff with them and I can sit and just watch them, I can just see them all sliding off. Get on there. Get on there. Now I've ended up with too many of them over here. I just wanted a couple of them there. And gotta get you guys down on the top. Alright, I think we're good. Okay, final step. We're going to take the matte top again, and I'm going to go all along the edges of the embellishments to cover up any of the gluey mess that I have just made. See the side of that, all that shiny glue? We don't want that. Now I could have wiped off some of that before I cured it, and if I wasn't having trouble with all those darn beads staying on, I probably would have done that. But I just wanted it in the lamp as soon as I could get it in there. Oh, this will cover over all of that so you won't see any of it. Just don't go over your caviar beads or your other stuff with this, or they will now be matte and not shiny anymore. If we were using regular top coat, I would get some of the caviar beads slightly covered in top coat because then it'll help hold them on. But I don't want them to be matte right now. And we're almost there, guys. Home stretch. If I can get my gloves out from under the thing on the stand. Look at that. I've either got glue or polish all over the tip of that glove. Sheesh. Some days I am so messy in there. And I believe we have one left. The thumbnail. Okay, we're going to cure those. And as soon as we're happy, we're going to cure those. And bam, there we are. There's the finished set. I think they turned out pretty nice. If you like them, please give me a like. I really do appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more, I upload a new tutorial every Saturday, like clockwork. So stay tuned. Next week, we're going to have the Olympic set, I hope, unless barring some catastrophe. Okay, but that's what I'm shooting for. Take care, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.